Hello, my name is Veronica West, and I would like to talk to you today about my advocacy map. My project focused on closing the reading gap at Advocacy Elementary School. Our main focus was shifted towards how can we close this gap, or how can we pretty much be productive in closing this gap. And one of the main things that me and the focus group came up with was parental support or parental involvement. So basically, what the plan will entail is we want to make sure that each child or each student at FKI are reading fluently and that they are reading on grade level before or by the time that they exit or leave FKI. So some of the research that I did, I used um, foundations, iReady, assessment of learning. These are basically different assessments that we use throughout the school year. Pretty much when I looked at these different databases, it showed that over half of our first grade students were not reading on grade level and they were not reading fluently. And most of them could not identify their key letter sounds or their key letters, let alone sight words or vocabulary words. So, in my research going forward further along, I discovered that there has to be a direct connection or a direct link to our parents. Our parents play a significant part in getting our kids engaged in reading and getting our kids um, pretty much excited about reading. Through this direct link, we find out that most students tend to show more engagement in their academics, in reading, in science, math, and social studies. So, as a focus group, we came up with I asked the question, well, how can we get our parents to um, be more a part of our kids' academics? So we came up with these conclusions, and it basically we stated that the parent has to have 100% buy-in to whatever the school is doing. That parent has to have 100% buy-in to whatever that teacher's teaching, whatever the school is planning for that child. So as long as that parent is buying into what Ethel is doing, um, we should see success within our students when it comes to reading, math, English, language arts, science, whatever it is. As long as that parent is supportive and has a buy-in, then we are now we are effectively we are effectively closing the gap, the reading gap. So here is what I'm recommending, or basically here is what I'm suggesting. Pretty much, I have come up with three different strategies that will help to get more parent support in the student in their students' academics. Okay, we want to get more parental involvement to gain more to get a better quality, to give our students a better quality of education. Put it that way. Um, Pretty much, these different strategies, they're going to embody all of Ethicite's students and parents. It's going to include both the students and the parents. So these strategies will pretty much be having a parent-student um, literacy night. Pretty much we're going to do a live video for the parents. Um, so maybe like once a week we do a lesson um, in each content area. And then last but not least, we're going to start providing more enrichment activities that the students can take home with them and they can do with their parents. Let's talk about these micro-political strategies. I have 4 strategies here listed. Of course, you can see them, you can read them. Pretty much with the first one, we want to tackle um, closing this reading gap at the pre-K level. If we can tackle closing this reading gap at the pre-K level, then we've won half the battle. Next, of course, with us coming together and strategizing as a first grade team, pretty much when we come together, we need to think outside the box as far as how do we get our kids to become more engaged and how do we get them to stay engaged. Not only become more engaged, but to stay engaged and learn how to read. I think by doing this, if we pull in the parents, get the parent support or whatever parent or guardian that child has, then we are assured that they can and they will learn how to read fluently and become and be on grade level with reading. And of course, with the string of technology, we're going to continue to use that to push what we've been teaching throughout the weeks. Of course, continue with using the technology platforms that we've been given and to utilize platforms outside of what we've been given. Next, we have our support matrix. Of course, we have 4 boxes here you see, broken down into high influence, opposed, high influence, support. Both of these are very important when you have high influencers. These people can push. These people can push you to the next level that you need with your let's just say they can move in and out of your framework of your BWO, okay? So these guys are your pushers, shakers, and your movers. They get in, they get out, they make it happen. Low influencers, low opposed, same here. These guys, they are low influence, but they are yet against what the plan that's been proposed. Again, with the low influence of the low influence, we still have those that are low influences, but yet they support everything that the plan represents. Again, with the influence matrix, we have high importance with low influence. These guys are very high. They're high on the pole. They can recommend, but guess what? They have very little influence. They have very little impact at what they are proposing or what they're going to do to help the plan. Pretty much with the high, it's the opposite. So we have they're very important and they have a huge impact on the plan at hand. Okay, so with the last 2 boxes, these guys are low importance, but basically they don't have, one has less impact and the other one has a punch, even though it's low influence. Level of influences, we have our micro influences. All these people that are listed on this list, your teachers, parents, librarians, so on and so on, they have great influence on your students. These guys and ladies and gentlemen, they are the ones that support and help your students to engage in reading. They help your students to become more familiar with the different literary books and ideas. These guys make sure that your students are reading on grade level. I once heard it say that it takes a community to raise a child, and so here's your community. All these people on this micro influence, they are your community and they are the ones that will help impact. They are part of your BWOs. The impact that they have, they are shakers and movers, and they are the ones that continue to push your kids to success. Then we have our macro influences, okay? These are your top guys. These are the ones that fund your plans. These are the ones that will push your plan. These are the ones that will get your supplies and anything that you may need or have need of. So those guys, that's who those guys are. And here you have your resources. You have your TED Talk, your EPIC, population education, reach out, reading from A to Z, Inspire, Phonics. All these things are pretty much basically the baseline for helping your students to read more fluently and to become readers on grade level. Thank you.